My name's Jay Ellison, and I'm the Director of Outdoor Leadership and Education at Lycoming College. And today we're going to take a moment to give you a quick safety tip about lightning. Lightning can be a scary thing, and the real answer of where you want to be when lightning comes is indoors. But sometimes that's not an option. So we're going to talk about some places where you can go to try to make efforts to protect yourself against the dangers of lightning. So a lot of people know that you don't want to be the tallest thing or the tallest object in a field when a lightning storm comes up. And that's true. You also don't want to be in the lowest area when a lightning storm comes up. Mostly we look at that with like ravines. So for example, behind me there's a creek bed. And so if a lightning storm came up right now, I wouldn't want to go into that creek bed because lightning takes a path of least resistance, as does water. And so that could make me more susceptible to a lightning strike. If I'm on a peak, obviously, that's a very dangerous place for me to be when outdoors and a lightning storm comes up. If you're above tree line or if you're on a ridge, obviously you want to get off of those as soon as possible. And hopefully you'll be looking at the weather and know that it's time to leave even before that becomes an issue. So let's talk about where you do want to be. Ideally, you want to be in an area of trees that are evenly sized. And if they're not evenly sized, you don't want to pick the tallest tree to make your friend and be next to. So try to get in an area where the trees are mostly the same size, that isn't the lowest point, but also isn't the highest point to ride out your storm. Another thing you want to look for, lightning storms also accompany wind frequently. So look above you. Are the trees above you dead? That might not be a place where I want to hang out and ride out this lightning storm. It can be difficult to find the perfect place in a lightning storm, and because there's no exact right answer. The right answer is what's correct for where you are at that moment. But you can utilize these principles that I've given you to try to find the best place to ride out that storm. So it's happened. You're out in the backcountry and a storm comes up that you weren't expecting, and you find yourself in a lightning storm. You've utilized the principles that we've talked about already to find a good spot, and it's time to hunker down. There's different things that you can do to hunker down and to try to minimize the risk of a lightning strike. One of those is a lightning position. There are different forms of lightning positions, but some of the principles are to try to sit on a foam pad to put a barrier between you and the ground. So your sleeping pad makes an excellent thing to sit on. And there's two forms. You can either sit on your bottom, hugging your knees, making yourself small, or you can kneel in a crouch position while keeping your heels connected and touching at all times. You may imagine that last one can be pretty difficult to sustain for a long time. So a lot of folks may transition from one to the other. The goal here is to minimize your contact with the ground and to make yourself a really small target of lightning, essentially. Other things that you wouldn't want to necessarily lean against things or sit in water necessarily, or if there's fences there, don't lean against a fence because the lightning can strike a fence and therefore affect you. It's things like that. You really want to try to make yourself small and not touching other objects. So now you've got the principles of what to do and where to go. Now let's talk about what to do for the duration of the storm. So we used the idea of the 30-30 rule. If you see the flash of lightning, start counting. If you can't count to 30 seconds before hearing the thunder, then it's time to move into a safe space and move into your lightning position. It's important that you remain in that lightning position until you get to a point where you see the flash and you can count past 30 seconds before you hear the boom. And at that point, you need to wait an additional 30 minutes before moving out of your lightning position. This means that the storm is 6 or more miles away from you if you can count past 30. If you can't count to 30, that means the storm is within 6 miles of you and you are at a risk of lightning in the location that you're at. Waiting the 30 minutes is an opportunity for the storm to move away from you, and the risk has minimized to a level that's more comfortable to get up and move around in. So implement the 30-30 rule when you find yourselves in lightning dangers to help minimize that risk of a lightning strike. So I encourage you on your next outdoor outing to utilize these skills if you find yourself in a storm. Lightning can be intimidating, but it really shouldn't be. You look at the weather, know what's going to happen in the place that you're going, and plan accordingly. Utilize the skills that you've gained here and get outdoors and explore your natural areas.